Wellness begins where play, pleasure, and the parasympathetic meet. You were born to be you, and you were born to be well. Your body is always trying to find its way back to health. Now, here's the host of Your Healing Playground with Dr. Tina Koopersmith.
Good morning, my friends, or good afternoon or good evening, wherever you are in this world, whenever you are listening. You are listening to Your Healing Playground. I am Dr. Tina Koopersmith, your witchy doctor and change advocate, and we are on the Inspired Choices Network. And today, my topic is about structure and creativity and the dance between freedom and form. And we're going to talk a little bit of science and a little bit of life experiences and how to go through life. Structure and creativity seem in some ways to be very different, and freedom and form also seem to be very different, almost like freedom and slavery seem to be opposites. But in reality, there is freedom in slavery and there is slavery in freedom. And same thing with structure and creativity. Structure seems very rigid and boxy, where creativity seems really flowy and movement oriented. But they work together, and all of it, when I dig deep and try and go into the physics of it, is, to me, goes back to Einstein's equation of E equals mc squared. And a lot of people get freaked out when they hear the word Einstein, they hear the word physics. For me, I was like, what is this theory of relativity? For years, it just made me kind of scared because it was like, I'm not sure I understand this deep thinker and this deep physics. And so my explanation may be very simple for you physicists out there, but it's the way I can wrap my head around it and understand it. So E equals mc squared, energy equals matter, times c squared. C squared is the speed of light times itself. So c squared is, and so that means energy is matter and matter is energy. And structure, my friends, is the matter, is the particles, is the stuff we can touch and hold and see. And energy are the waves of emotions and the energy we can't see, even the wind and love and creativity is energy, and it's much more intangible, but the two go together. They're intrinsically one and the same, just different. So Einstein said all matter is actually energy with such a slow frequency and amplitude that we see it, feel it, taste it, touch it as physical form. Now, it's so hard to wrap your head around that they can be the same. And yet there was this beautiful experiment. Several years ago, I was in a museum in Nashville, and I was actually at an exhibit about guitars, of course, because I was in Nashville, but I meandered up into the children's section. You know, that experiential science experiment stuff that they do in children's museums. This wasn't a children's museum, but it was in the children's section of the museum. And such a light bulb went on for me. They had this one exhibit where they had two boxes, and in each box there was sand. Now, the box was made out of glass so that you could see the sand particles inside the box. And then there was a dial outside. And what the dial was doing was there was music, frequencies of sound being pumped into this glass box. And there were two glass boxes. And you change the dial to change the frequency that the sand was exposed to, or the sand was hearing, right? And lo and behold, when you change the frequency of whatever sound was being pumped into the box, the sand changed shape and had a different form. It was like, I mean, it wasn't a sand castle, but it was a pile of sand, and it was either star shape or round shape or whatever. And it literally, if you had the same frequency in both boxes, then the shape of the sand was identical. And if you had different frequencies, the sand would change its formation based on the sound. Well, my friends, when you dig deep, and if you go online, there are experiments. We call them split lamp experiments, and they take the smallest particle of matter, which we call a proton. And if you do this slit lamp experiment, these protons, which are like sand because they're particles, but they behave in the physics lab like light. Okay, they are waves that intersect and there's dropouts. If it was pure sand in the way we deal with sand, and it went through two holes in a like piece of, if there was a brick that had two holes, or a piece of wood with two holes in it, and you poured sand through the two holes, you would get two piles of sand. But if you put light through, you get light waves, and there's dropout, which is where the light waves intersect. And so you get a pattern of on, off, on, off, on, off. So again, just like the sound and the particles, showing that sound makes particles shape differently, when you look at particles in the laboratory, they behave as waves. When you go to a baseball game, and we just perhaps saw the LA Dodgers play the Toronto Blue Jays in the World Series, and there is invariably a wave of humans as they make their way in the stadium. Humans stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down, and you see a wave of people. They're particles making it look like a wave. When you're in the ocean and you see a wave, it looks like one continuous wave, but it's really the energy of the water molecules passing from water molecule to water molecule. So if there's an earthquake in Japan and Hawaii is going to have a tsunami because of the earth shaking, it's because the energy is being passed from water molecule to water molecule. That starts in Japan as there is a vibration of sound, right? Vibration of earth, but it's transmitted like sound. And lo and behold, we get a wave of energy all the way from this quaking in the earth, which is matter, but it's making a quake, which is wave. And the water carries this wave across the oceans and makes a tsunami somewhere else. So my friends, this is my physics lesson in the fact that energy and form really go together, okay? They are two ways to express something differently. So your body, my friends, is energy. The aliveness in a body is the energy. When you look at a corpse, it is still, the energy has left. It is no longer coursing through that body. Now, physicality, maybe it is, I don't know. But for what we see, the energy is gone. Now, Western medicine treats the physical form, the body, the organs, the particles, and gives lip service somewhat to the nervous system, which is moving the energy through neurotransmitters and electrons. But we're dealing with organ systems and the particles. Eastern medicine and traditional Chinese medicine was focused on the energy of the body and how can we change how the energy is moving through the body. And if you change the energy, like changing the frequency of sound, you can change the sound particles and those sand particles, which are the structure of the body, right? And so structure of the body is the container for the energy that is our life force. Now, structure is the organs, and the energy is the chemical reactions and the nervous system moving the energy all around your body. And when I think of the body and I think of the mind, heart, the mind and the body and the heart and the energy of the body, the mind and the thoughts are giving structure to the energetic sensations that the body is feeling because we are alive. So there's energy always coursing through our bodies, and we feel that energy as a sensation and then we call it an emotion because it's the mind giving it structure. And we have energy in our bodies, in all of our cells. That's the mitochondria making energy. It's the motor running the cells, right? So if we have a car and it wants to move, you need to put gas or pump in electricity, and then the car moves. So too with our body. We have these organ systems, the muscles that move back and forth, the heart that pumps the blood all the way around. And underneath all this movement and the digestion and the thoughts is energy. At the cellular level, nothing works unless there's energy. And so we need to really focus on the body as a machine of energy that shows up in structure and form. And if we go back, because again, I'm a fertility doctor, and creativity is what keeps the energy flowing, the emotions moving, and the cells alive. The same way the mitochondria is humming and the vagus nerve is humming through our body, and the sparks of inspiration and creativity. Now, the creativity is the spark of something from nothing. And as a human, we were created. We are something out of nothing. There was a sperm and an egg, two one-celled things that came together. And then there was this spark of energy, this literal energy package delivered with the DNA and with the sperm for that sperm and the egg to poof, create not a sperm and egg anymore, but a one-cell embryo. And it needs energy to divide and go 1 cell, 2 cell, 4 cell, 8 cell, 16. And lo and behold, there's a fetus that grows and a human shows up from this spark of energy and this spark of inspiration and this spark of energy. And this embryo, the first 3 days, it's living on mom's mitochondria. So it needs energy to keep dividing. And between day 3 and day 5, it becomes a fully formed embryo where it's living off its own mitochondria. And let me tell you, that's where a significant drop-off occurs. Now, sperm and egg, many of them never meet. But of those that meet and make a one-celled embryo, at least in our laboratory, in our IVF labs, 50% of those one-celled embryos never make it to that day 5 blastocyst stage where it's living off of baby's mitochondria, baby's energy, and that it can actually attach into mom to grow, to start to grow. And then it's an interaction, right, of mom's energy, her food system and her waste removal system interacting with baby's energetic systems as they come online and again create out of nothing these organs. So I invite you that creativity starts first. The spark, the match that lights the fire to create a big fire is what's happening in your cells. You are energy that creates form, and your creativity creates the structure. And as you go through life, all the time, you need to toggle back and forth between the creativity of the spark and the energy that is your life to keep creating the form that your life takes. And on that note of creativity sparking form, energy leading to structure, we will take our first break. Wrap your head around that you are energy into form. And then the form holds the energy in place. So let's take our break on the toggle between energy and form, structure and energy, structure and creativity. You are listening to Your Healing Playground. I am Dr. Tina Coopersmith, your witchy doctor, your change advocate. We are on the Inspired Choices Network. And let yourself just sit with the fact that you are a body, you are a structure, you are a form, and what keeps you alive is your creativity, your energy, and your expression. And we'll take our first break.
Your Healing Playground is the space where science, spirit, and sensation dance together. Your host, Dr. Tina Coopersmith, physician, coach, healer, and play advocate, returns weekly to remind you that healing isn't just about pills and protocols. Western medicine is just one of many healing modalities. True wellness is about energy, emotion, pleasure, and play. On this show, Dr. Tina explores the playground of your body, mind, heart, and soul. From neuroscience to sensuality, from root chakra to real talk. She'll share tools, stories, and soulful strategies to shift you out of fear and back into joy. Because if you're alive and breathing, your story is still unwritten, and you deserve to write it with love. Together, you'll learn to breathe, feel, and play your way back to wellness, because you are your best healer.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is Your Healing Playground with Dr. Tina Coopersmith. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also send an email to info@womensreproduction.com. Now, back to our program.
Welcome back, my friends. You are listening to Your Healing Playground. I am your host, Dr. Tina Coopersmith, your witchy doctor and change advocate. We are on the Inspired Choices Network. I invite you, if you get benefit from this podcast, if you like my little tidbits, please subscribe to on Spotify and on Apple and leave us a positive review, a 5-star review, and share it with your friends, because sharing is caring, and it is spreading the energy and the ripple effect of how we can all find ways to heal. And today we're talking about the balance of structure and creativity and the dance between freedom and form. And we have that in our bodies, we have that in our daily rituals, we have that in our nervous systems. We have these two nervous systems. The two nervous systems are sympathetic and are parasympathetic, or as people know it, sympathetic, survival. It is fight, flight, freeze, or please. And the parasympathetic is rest, rest and digest, relax, reproduce, rejuvenate, right? It's the balance between the two is how we stay well. If we're always in do mode, then we're using up energy, and we're not replenishing the energy. It's overuse, and we get overuse injuries, right? We get burnout because we're running on fumes. If you were a car, you need to have tune-ups of the car. You need to go to the gas station and put new gas in it. Or if you have a new electric model, you got to recharge your body's energy stores. And we recharge our body's energy stores when we shift from doing into rejuvenation mode. And that parasympathetic mode is when we are getting our tune-ups, when we are getting enough sleep, when we are in idle mode, when we are relaxing, when we are in pleasure mode. Because my friends, pleasure is how we plug in to rekindle and refill our energy stores. I like to say, if our life is a bank account, life gets lifey, stress happens, busyness happens, and that's the withdrawals of energy. We have a basal metabolic rate just to stay alive, right? We need to breathe, our heart needs to beat, we need to move stuff through our intestinal tract, we need to, there's so much energy being used just from our organs, organing, if you will. And then when we add a to-do list to that, and we go for a run, or we go for a walk, or we're using our brain is, I think, 2% of our physical matter, but 20% of our energy is used from brain power. And we need to replenish the energy stores to have the energy to do that. And so we do that when we go into the other mode, the mode of resting. And so it's not about, it is survival of the fittest, because survival of the fittest is who can manage their energy in and their energy out balance, the seesaw of the two the best. But really, it's not survival of the one with the biggest muscles. It's survival of the most adaptable, who can go back and forth the best. And I was recently in Kenya, and we went on safari. And I noticed, we watched an animal, I think it was a leopard, and we watched it. I didn't get to watch the chase. My friends watched the chase of it, chased an animal, and then it got its kill. It was a successful predator. And we watched it sit in a field by itself and eat its prey. It was an incredible experience to watch. But this animal is a predator, a pretty large one, and it's pretty high on the food chain, but it works alone. And I was watching as it ate. It would take a few bites, and then eyes open, narrow focus, it would look around and make sure it was safe, that there was not another cat or another animal coming in to steal its food. So it was in survival mode. And also it was making sure it wasn't going to get eaten, right? So it was actually eating its prey in on guard mode, which is what we humans do when we shovel our food in really fast because we don't leave our work environments, and we eat at our desk, or we eat in our car racing from one place to the other. We are not transitioning from on guard, hyper vigilant. Oh my God, I got to get the food in really fast because I may not have time to eat later. And what we know about our physical bodies is the food doesn't get digested well when we are in that sympathetic fight or flight mode. If we slow down, take a breath, and we are safe to eat, we eat more slowly, we chew our foods for longer, which pre-digests the molecules. And then when it gets into our gut system, we're not doing anything but digesting. And the bacteria that actually work for us know, oh, we are safe to eat. We are not running from that tiger. Because when we're running from the tiger, the food goes right through us, and any energy we have in our body is being redirected away from the intestinal tract to the heart and the muscles, because it's not important to digest if we're going to die, right? And so the body has to alternate. Is it going to put energy stores to the intestinal tract to get as much nutrients out of that food as possible? Or are we racing for our lives? And so we have to switch nervous systems to eat. This animal, I think, was switching nervous systems like in minuscule moments of eating, and then it would literally pop its head up, look around, am I safe? And then go back to eating. And I was watching it in real time. Now, on the savannah, we also saw lions who are, the top of the food chain. And when they were hunting in packs, there were 5 lions collaborating, hunting down these herd of buffalo. And it was fascinating because you could see that they were working in collaboration as a team, the way humans do better. We found our way to the top of the food chain figuratively, not because we're bigger and stronger than lions, but because we're collaborating as a team, the way lions collaborate as a team. And the lions hunt in packs. And then, my friends, what we got to see, not just their hunting ability, but there were 5 lions sitting in the grasses, somewhat camouflaged, and they were just chilling. They were breathing, they were sleeping, they were resting, they were taking the day off. They must have already had their kill, and they were just enjoying life and digesting their food and taking in the sun and absolutely doing nothing. I want to say that again. They were doing nothing. Pure rest and relaxation. This is like the top of the food chain, my friends, that take off almost their entire day to just chill and probably digest their food. They are not spending 24/7 hunting down their prey, doing. They collaborate, they hunt, they find their kill, they bring their kill back to their tribe, they eat, and they rest. And they spent so much time to rest. And my friends, they share their food with others. Everyone in the tribe gets food. And my friends, who does the hunting of the lions? It's the mommy lion. She hunts, and the papa lion gets to eat first, but he also, I believe, protects the pack, right? And so they share duties, and they spend so much time resting so they can be the strongest animals on the savannah. And my friends, we humans need to learn from these animals that they spend a lot of time being present to life, being present to sensations, eating. The herbivores, the vegetable eaters, spend a lot of time eating. They spend so much time eating, but they are eating while enjoying being alive. Now, when they smell that lion, they stop eating and they take off and run. And we watch that herd of buffalo run, right? And escape. But then they get to the next place, the lions aren't there, and they chill and they eat again. And they eat in a relaxed mode of being present to being alive on the savannah. And then when it's time to be active and run, they run. The lions, too, are active when they're hunting and they're resting for the rest of the day. We humans need to do the same. We need to flip from do to rest, 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 rest. If we are going to maintain our health and maintain our health at a level where we can be in our food chain, in the interconnected web of this food chain, and still kind of be in control. So, my friends, let's take our second break. And I invite you to slowly enjoy your morning coffee, your morning tea. Sit with your breath, sit with your body, and notice the energy that keeps you alive. So we'll take our break. You are listening to Your Healing Playground. I am Dr. Tina Koopersmith, your host, and we are on the Inspired Choices Network.
Your Healing Playground is the space where science, spirit, and sensation dance together. Your host, Dr. Tina Koopersmith, physician, coach, healer, and play advocate, returns weekly to remind you that healing isn't just about pills and protocols. Western medicine is just one of many healing modalities. True wellness is about energy, emotion, pleasure, and play. On this show, Dr. Tina explores the playground of your body, mind, heart, and soul. From neuroscience to sensuality, from root chakra to real talk. She'll share tools, stories, and soulful strategies to shift you out of fear and back into joy. Because if you're alive and breathing, your story is still unwritten, and you deserve to write it with love. Together, you'll learn to breathe, feel, and play your way back to wellness, because you are your best healer.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is Your Healing Playground with Dr. Tina Koopersmith. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also send an email to info@womensreproduction.com. Now, back to our program.
Welcome back, my friends. You are listening to Your Healing Playground. I am your host, Dr. Tina Koopersmith, and we are on the Inspired Choices Network. Check out my new website, which is unfurling this week, I believe, called Dr. Tina Plays, because I believe in play. And I'm going to go back to something I mentioned in the last segment. I mentioned that life is like a bank account. Stress and the to-do list and the angst and the valleys of life, the difficult times that we go through, that is the stressful part of life that is always draining our energy. And we don't have to schedule that into our life. I can guarantee you life will get lifey. It is a guarantee. But pleasure and play, that's how you put money into your bank account of life. Now, we are wired for survival. Survival will always prioritize itself to keep you alive. That is the way your body is made up. And so we don't have to remember where the roses are blooming to stay alive. We have to remember where the lion is hiding so we don't get eaten. So stress, in a sense, is our default mode, right? It's our survival mode. When we are born, and I mentioned this 2 episodes ago, we move from that comfort of relaxing all day long in the mommy's womb, of just free floating in nature in this beautiful, warm environment in mom's tummy, where mom takes care of us and we are breathing underwater because we're not using our lungs and we're not really using our brain, and all we are is a heart beating and an energy moving, and we are growing ourselves, and that takes a lot of energy. But we're chilling and trusting the universe to take care of us. And the minute the cord is cut, we have a massive cortisol rush, and we switch over to the like, oh my God, I'm going to die. I need to take care of myself. And that survival mode comes on, and we forget to relax into trust. But the way we learn to trust is to connect with our energy, our body sensations, our loved ones, are just being alive and trusting that we are here to be alive. And so we need to switch into that parasympathetic nervous system if we are going to regenerate. And we do that through play and pleasure, but we're not wired for that. So we have to schedule it. Right? We literally have to schedule pleasure and play into our lives to build the energy stores. And someone did the math where it takes 8 positives on the seesaw of life to balance that one stressful event. And so we have to schedule time to smell the roses, smell your coffee, take a bath, enjoy life. Now, when you think about 8 to 1, sleep is the time we restore our bodies, and we need to prioritize sleep and sleep in what I mean by deep sleep and REM sleep, not just lying in the bed still vibrating at anxiety mode. Is someone going to kill me tonight? We literally have to turn that brain off. Remember I said the brain uses 20% of our energy stores. So how can we turn that brain off and go into a true trusting mode so we can have deep, deep sleep, and we can have REM sleep? REM sleep is when we literally recover and consolidate our emotions and put them in past memories, so we're not living in fear tomorrow over what happened yesterday. And deep sleep is when the brain goes offline, literally offline, so the body processes can heal us. And they say, my friends, that 20 minutes of meditation, of deep meditation, where again those brain waves switch out of anxiety mode into a meditative, different brain state. And 20 minutes of meditation can be equivalent to 4 hours of deep sleep. So, my friends, when we have structure in the day, structure our habits and rituals and doing things the same way over and over again, that is the brain's way of saving energy, conserving energy. But are your habits serving you and bringing you into pleasure and play mode? Or are your habits about ruminating of all the stuff you have to do? So we all need habitual ways to conserve energy in our life, but ideally we have structure that helps the energy vibrate higher. So can that structure be a breath practice that gets you out of your brain and into a very beautiful, gentle heart math, resonating when the mind is resonating with the heart and you're having a very slow breath work? It helps our bodies resonate into a deeper state. Now, you can also do breath work that varies the resonance of the sound. And I do several different breath works in the morning now. And often I follow elemental rhythm breath works, and we move from a earth breath to an air breath to a water breath to a fire breath. And by changing the breath, I'm so focused on breathing, my mind goes away. I stop thinking, but I move my breath, and with it, I move my energy. And sometimes I go into a fire breathing, which is a very fast breath. It's an energetic breath. And that moves energy up my spinal cord, and I literally physically move the breath and move the energy with me, and we're rotating energy. It becomes an erotic movement of energy, a sexual movement of energy without sex in the physical sense, but it's allowing my breath to move the energy in my body, and it makes my body know that it is safe and alive, because my brain is off. My brain is off, my to-do list is off, my fear is off, and I'm just moving energy in an alive mode. And that replenishes my energy. And in that way, my friends, my creativity can come on board. My cells can repair deeply. And so I invite you that breath work is a beautiful way to get offline from your brain and move energy. But you can also do humming. And indeed, in my breath work, we often breathe it in. We do a fire breath and then a hold. And we pull the energy up, and then we hum it out. And when you hum and when you sing, you activate that parasympathetic nervous system. And when you have these rituals, now perhaps you're journaling in the morning. When you're journaling, you're clearing all the thoughts out of your brain, going onto the paper. And if you have a creative expression, the artist's way is like writing 3 pages every morning to just clear the energy out of your brain. And again, it gets you into a creative spark, a creative place. It's a ritual that tells your body you're safe to be alive to create. And so having daily rituals is really a way to clear the clutter, clear the energy, clear the cobwebs, and remind your body, remind that morning cortisol rush when you spark and you wake up like the animal that wakes from sleep. Your survival mode immediately kicks in. Am I alive? Am I alive? And if you pop up and go immediately to your phone and move your energy out of your body into the news, into social media, into fear of I'm not enough, or fear that the world is coming to an end, or fear that our government is exploding, you all of a sudden have moved your energy up and out and into fear mode, and you are going to be in sympathetic mode all day. But if instead you wake up and you go, oh my God, I have a structure over my head. I actually have a house. I have a home in my body. My energy I can hold. And maybe you had a bad dream and you wake up and the energy is really, there's angst. Maybe you do have a lot on your plate and your bills are piling up and you don't have the money to pay them. Or you wake up and remember you have an illness. I invite you to hug yourself and give yourself a home to breathe and relax your nervous system. Again, with a cross-body hug and a breath. If I'm alive, I'm breathing and I'm okay and I have a home in my body. Ideally, you have a home over your head right now, and that is safe. My dream for society, my biggest dream, if I could wave my magic wand to make our society truly civilized is that every human on this planet gets to wake up and know there is food available. There is safe water for them to drink. They have some home over their head to protect them from the elements and from thievery. And they are safe in their bodies to be themselves, that they don't have to compete with anyone else, and they don't have to struggle for their health, for their safety, so that if everyone was housed, had food and water and shelter within to be safe, to be whoever they are meant to be, my friends, then we would all be able to wake up safe, knowing they were safe on this planet, they deserve to be here, and we as a human society was collaborating to ensure the safety of every human on this planet, every animal on this planet, every vegetable and forest on this planet. And I know I'm going from the one cell that grew itself into a human being, into this entire planetary universe being safe in this planet, to be a planet without humans destroying the planet with all their doingness and competing for resources. If instead, my friends, we collaborated and we remembered we were safe in this body, we were here on this planet to give to the planet our personal strength, our personal energy, our love and commitment to each other, then we could have a home in our bodies. We would all have a home to call ourselves, and we could all have a ritual in the morning that says, I'm going to get health care, I'm going to get food, I'm going to get water. And if I can't do it on my own because I'm disabled or differently abled, there will be people who will protect me and not destroy me, kick me out of the tribe, and kill me. And so, my friends, being alive means being lazy when it is time to be lazy. Being alive means having sexual energy, which means knowing you are safe for pleasure. Because when you are safe to have pleasure in your body knows it is safe to heal, that there's not a tiger at your back about to pounce. Because out on the savannah, if you are having deep pleasure, there may be groans and sound, and you may be resonating at a frequency of pleasure that includes sounds of pleasure. And that may call in the lion to kill you. So when you actually experience sexual pleasure in your body and use your voice to sing, to hum, to purr like a cat, you are telling your body you are safe and there is no one about to eat you. So I invite you that using erotic energy to do whatever brings you pleasure, that might be eating, it might be sexuality physically, it might be writing, it might be exercising, it might be painting or making art or being creative in the way that you like to create. When you allow creativity, laziness, and pleasure into your body actually feels it as sexual energy, erotic energy, which is love energy. And that love energy tells your physical body you are safe on this planet to be alive. And you will then go into a place of healing. The energy will allow you to heal. So my friends, I need to take my last break. You are listening to Your Healing Playground. I am Dr. Tina Coopersmith. I am a witchy doctor. I promote pleasure and play as a way to heal. I promote laziness to actually inspire you to do more and act more, but to do it in alignment with pleasure and play. We are on the Inspired Choices Network. Please follow me at Dr. Tina Plays. I am giving a free masterclass on Conceive, Believe, Achieve on Wednesday, and we will take our last break.
Your Healing Playground is the space where science, spirit, and sensation dance together. Your host, Dr. Tina Koopersmith, physician, coach, healer, and play advocate, returns weekly to remind you that healing isn't just about pills and protocols. Western medicine is just one of many healing modalities. True wellness is about energy, emotion, pleasure, and play. On this show, Dr. Tina explores the playground of your body, mind, heart, and soul. From neuroscience to sensuality, from root chakra to real talk. She'll share tools, stories, and soulful strategies to shift you out of fear and back into joy. Because if you're alive and breathing, your story is still unwritten, and you deserve to write it with love. Together, you'll learn to breathe, feel, and play your way back to wellness, because you are your best healer. This is Your Healing Playground with Dr. Tina Koopersmith. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also send an email to info@womensreproduction.com. Now, back to our program.
Welcome back, my friends. You are listening to Your Healing Playground. I am your host, Dr. Tina Koopersmith. And we are on the Inspired Choices Network. And again, I invite you to share this podcast with others. I invite you to subscribe. I invite you to follow me at Dr. Tina Plays and come to my free masterclass this Wednesday when we will talk about conceive it, believe it, achieve it. And I just want to tell you and summarize, we talked at the beginning about sound pumping into sand, changing how the structure of the sand and the artwork of sand shows up. The sound in your body, how your body is vibrating, how you are singing to yourself, how you are talking to yourself, the music you are listening to is how you vibrate. And how you vibrate changes the form in your body. If you're vibrating in an anxious mode and there's no place for the energy to go, then the sand of your body, the particles of your body are more likely to use up the energy, not replenish the energy, live in stress mode, and you're doing, running, and you can't relax. And so I invite you, it is okay to wake up and be anxious, but take time to learn how to toggle your nervous system. You are not bad or wrong living in today's society to be anxious. And you get to breathe yourself into the center of the hurricane and be calm in the center while you watch the hurricane all around you. How can you move from the winds of anxiety into the calm in the storm? How can you be calm in the middle of chaos? And you need to breathe yourself, move yourself, listen to the right breath work, the right music, the right song, the right humming to get centered so that you can live in the calm while life is happening like a hurricane all around you. And start looking at the hurricane, an interesting weather pattern all around me. But I can always change my story and grow from any experience that life throws at me. So I can always be calm, even in chaos, because the way out of the hurricane is by moving to the center and watching the hurricane and staying centered. And I can grow from the experience. I can flap my butterfly wings and fly away. The caterpillar doesn't know when it's anxious in the cocoon and it's flapping wings. It never knew it had wings to fly away and be calm and beautiful. So my friends, when you're anxious, flap your wings, move to the center, calm yourself down, because you are a butterfly and you can fly out of
If
that
you felt
chrysalis.
something move today, a molecule, a mindset, or your mood, that's healing. Your body listens to your stories, your thoughts, your breath. So speak to yourself with kindness, play with curiosity, and let your nervous system know it's safe to rest. Dr. Tina returns Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 Central, 9 Mountain, 8 Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. Remember, pleasure is a practice and play is your medicine.